Hello everybody, I am Alexa and I'm going to be talking to you today about hope and about how we can all attain a higher level of hope despite what any of us has been through, whether it was in our childhood or in our adult years or even what we're going through today. There is always hope for more hope. They've done a lot of research on hope over the last 20 years and they have discovered that it is possible for anyone and everyone, despite whatever we have been through, to be able to attain more hope. And that hope, it's not just a feeling or an idea or a wish, but hope is actually, it involves setting goals and then taking action to attain those goals. So it's important that we realize that, you can hope for something, but by not taking action, it can actually leave you hopeless. So it's important that we understand that it is an action and that part of that is going to be on the foundation of our faith in what we believe. So, many of us, whether it be lies that we've heard throughout our lifetime or things that other people have told us, maybe it was, even a therapist that we saw that wasn't that good. We just felt hopeless, that we felt like there wasn't much for us beyond what we have been through, and that keeps us less than or not as capable as others who maybe haven't experienced the same type of adversity or trauma or suffering in their lifetimes. But I am here to tell you today that is not true. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter where you are today. There is always hope. You can always have a higher level of hope. All it takes is commitment. In a quote and in the words of Augustine by Hippo, he said that hope has two daughters, one anger and the other courage. Anger in the way that things are, and courage to see that things do not remain the same. And so that to me just resonates, because I know that I personally, given everything that I have been through throughout my lifetime, I could easily be a very angry person, very angry, bitter person. I probably could even convince myself that I have every right to be, because of all of the things and all of the ways that I've been abused and mistreated. But I have had to learn the power of forgiveness and being able to let go of that anger. Forgiveness is not reconciliation, and so we can talk about that another time. But and have the courage to face all of those things that happened to me. Wasn't easy, but when I decided to face it, I was able to face my fears, my shame, my lack of self-worth, and start to begin to have hope in all of those areas of my life. And it's taken living through my darkest days to become the strong, loving, caring, understanding version of myself that I am today. And I look forward to growing in all of those areas, as well as hope for myself and for others. And so I want to share with you all this book that I came across recently. Actually, it was so cool because I was looking on Amazon and I wasn't even looking for a book, especially on hope. This is about a month ago, and I came across this book. It popped up and it grabbed my attention. Didn't even know who the author was. Bought it, opened it up, started reading it, and I realized that the author of this book, Casey Gwinn, and then Chan Hellman, which I don't know who he is, but Casey Gwinn was the founder of the Family Justice Center, which I had the pleasure of being able to get services there for both my children and I after I had left an abusive relationship back in 2010. And it is absolutely amazing to me that here I am, in North Carolina, many years later, about to do a video on hope. And then I come across this book and it's just like a full circle. And the name of the book, which I highly recommend to anybody, is Hope Rising: How the Science of Hope Can Change Your Life. And it's so cool because it just has so many stories in here of people's, childhood adversity and what they went through and the trauma and the suffering, and yet they were able to overcome that. And their level of hope had a lot to do with that. So I when I first opened this book, I first landed on finding your ACE score, which is finding your adverse childhood experience score. And there's 10 questions, and for every question that you mark a yes, you put down the number 1 and then you add them up. And I scored a 6, and according to, published studies, there's correlations of people who score 4 or more, and for me, who scored a 6, it is saying that I am 4,600% more likely to become an injection drug heroin addict, 1,200% greater likelihood of attempting suicide as an adult. I'm sorry, that was for 4 or more. I'm 6. So I'm 2,900% more likely to commit suicide as an adult, 1,200% more likely to be a sexual assault victim, 1,000% more likely to inject street drugs, 700% more likely to become an alcoholic, 600% more likely to have sex before age 15, 500% more likely to have multiple marriages, 400% greater likelihood of emphysema and chronic bronchitis, 390% more likely to have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, 300% more likely to contract HIV, 300% more likely to become a domestic violence victim, 300% greater likelihood of struggling with chronic depression, 240% greater risk of hepatitis, 240% higher risk of sexually transmitted disease, 200% more likely to become smokers, 150% more likely to have heart disease, 100% greater risk of suffering from an autoimmune disease, and 51% of those with an ACE score of 4 or more will have behavioral problems in school. Wow. I'm like blown away. Yes, a few of those things I can say that I have struggled with, and I have a better understanding of why now as I've become older and understand that given the things that I have experienced as a child and as an adult, it makes sense. I was sexually molested at between the ages of 3 and 9 by multiple different people that I should have been able to trust. And, I experienced, there was times where there was attempted kidnapping, people chased me, tried to get me in their car. I was, constantly surrounded as a child, all around me, addiction was everywhere. There was mental illness. I know what it's like to watch the people you love suffer from mental illness. Crazy. I know what it's like to have narcissist people in your life. I know what it's like to be in an abusive marriage. I know what it's like to be emotionally, physically, and sexually abused. And I know what that does to a person. It destroys you inside, mentally, emotionally. And the hardest part is as a child, you don't even understand it. I mean, my innocence was robbed from me. I didn't even know what innocence was before it was taken. And if you knew me as a child and even as an adult, you probably would have never known what I was dealing with on the inside because I didn't know how to deal with it. I suffered from so much shame, and I felt like I didn't have value. I wasn't as important. I wasn't as lovable. There must have been something that I did. There must have been something about me that caused these things to happen to me because there were so many people that I knew that these things didn't happen to. But then later I started to realize that there were so many people that I knew that this did happen to, and I could look at them and say, you didn't deserve that. That wasn't you. I remember looking at my nieces when I was in my 20s, and they were, I think, around the ages of 3 and 5, and I remember looking at them thinking, that's how old I was. They would have never, they're innocent. It wouldn't have never been their fault. I mean, it's crazy to think that now, but it's amazing how we can live with these lies in our mind, which causes shame, which causes us to not be able to reach our full God-given potential. You know, God created each one of us with a specific purpose, a unique purpose that only we can fulfill. We each have unique gifts, and we each have the ability to attain that purpose. But so many things that happen to us in our life can create obstacles that get in the way, you know. And even talking about the quote from Augustine, I mean, anger can literally destroy you. It can keep you from so much in life. And so for me, I had to learn the power of forgiveness, and I had to learn what it was to face my fears, and I had to learn to be able to face my past in order to move forward in the future. You know, we live forward, but we learn backwards. And so, you know, with all that being said, it has taken me living through my darkest days to become the woman that I am today. And I can say I am proud of who I am today. And I know that I'm continuing to grow, but I love me and I am proud of me. And I hope that I can offer that same hope, healing, and love to you as well. I know there's a lot of you out there that are broken, and I know a lot of you have endured lots of adversity in your life, whether it be in your childhood or your adult years. You know, sometimes we just go through things and we don't really understand why, but I do believe that God can use that and work that all together for a purpose. I can't tell you how much it means to me when I meet somebody who has been abused as a child or as an adult, and that I can offer them a level of understanding that many cannot offer them because they don't know what it's like to experience something like that. And so I look at it as a gift that I now can offer others. And, you know, going through everything that I've been through, reading the millions of books that I've read. I'm also a college student. I have 5 majors. I'm actually almost done with my degree. It's been a long journey, but these are goals that I have created that I am working towards to attain. But I have 5 majors, and I am majoring in crisis counseling, Christian counseling, addiction recovery, military resilience, and life coaching. And in my studies, I can't tell you how many times I was like floored and had to like take a deep breath and be like, wow, according to this research and these statistics, like I and many people I know should be pretty messed up people right now. But I do have to say that many of the people that I know that have been through so much and have the same relationship with Jesus, it is truly a miracle that we are who we are today and that we are where we are today. So thanks be to God. He gets all the glory. Obviously, I do my part in trying to grow myself, but I do have to say that I am just so grateful that I know what it's like to have an undying hope, love, joy, and peace like no other, that nothing in this world can offer you. That is my source of hope, my ultimate source of hope at the end of the day. And I think many times we have to ask ourselves, what is our source of hope? You know, a lot of people put their hopes in their riches or their material items, or, you know, even people in their lives that they depend on. But none of that is promised. You know, people die, riches go away. You can't take that stuff with you when you leave this earth. So it's important that your source of hope is one that you can really trust and count on. I also wanted to share with you, you know, how even in my darkest days, and I have been there, you know, I have felt hopeless and sad and suffered and felt grief and depression. But when I was in those moments, and when I have them, because let's face it, life can be hard, and we at some point in our lives will all face crisis, there's this light that just flickers and it never dies. And that is that hope that I have in Jesus. And He has given me that hope, and I am so grateful for it. I want to spread it to everybody because I need hope today. I need hope tomorrow. I need hope for the rest of my life on this earth. And so do you. So let me be the first, if not one of many, hopefully, to encourage you today that hope can be attained. And if you are feeling hopeless today in any area of your life, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, or relationally, you can reach a higher level of hope in those areas. It just takes, establishing goals and then committing to them and then taking action to attain them. And I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to tell you I believe in you. And I want to actually next week talk about more about like what we can do to attain a higher level of hope and what it is to have mindfulness, because that's a huge part of, what you believe is going to affect how you think and the choices you make and actions that you take. So next week, I just can't wait to continue this journey on hope. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this planted the smallest seed in your heart that you can spread to others. I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you all so much for supporting me on my YouTube channel. As I learned so much about it, there's so much to learn, and I look forward to learning it when I have time, and I will get there. But for now, thank you for joining me, even as I'm still learning. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Please subscribe. And if you believe this video can bless anybody you know, please share. Also, I would love it if you would share with me any area in your life right now that you feel that you could use some hope. Put it in the comments below. Let me know what you could use some hope in so that I can pray for you and encourage you. And then I will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Sending you much love and peace. Bye-bye, everybody.